Everybody, and welcome to our week number 3 Twitch live stream for my 59071 class, the 4-week class that is in week number 3. I see a bunch of you joining me, getting logged in, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for being here with me on a Wednesday night. Before I do too much more, can someone let me know if you can hear me and see me okay? Is everything coming through all right? Like a thumbs up or a yes, something in the chat would be super helpful. Just want to make sure that everything is clear on your end. Looks good on my end, but just to make sure. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Violet, for letting me know. I really appreciate it. We are right here. So we're in week number 3 of a 4-week class. We're definitely getting close to the end. I cannot believe it's the 9th of July. I almost said September. The 9th of July already. I'm starting to see Halloween stuff, and my family and I are like getting ready to want to decorate. I like keep having to tell myself, not yet, right? It's not the Burr months yet. Got to give it another couple of weeks, but it's already like a good way into July. We're done with the first 2 weeks. We're past the halfway point. I'm going to start reminding you today and also next week that our class does end on a Friday. And I know that's a little like odd. I have no control over that, but it ends on Friday, July 18th. So just something to keep in mind. I already have opened up week number 4 for those of you who maybe wanted to get a jump on that short week that we have next week. But what I'll do tonight is I want to just talk about week number 3, and then next week when I meet with you, I'll talk about week number 4. A couple of quick pieces of feedback from last week, and then we'll jump into this week. So I'm seeing a lot of really wonderful things on my end. A lot of you are doing a beautiful job on the discussions, really great scores on the exam. The scores on exam number 2 were actually a little bit higher on average than exam number 1, which is great. Means a lot of you have kind of figured out what you need to do, how to prepare, how to study, and so on. So really nice job on that. A lot of people did really wonderful on the 2 discussions as well, which makes me really happy to see. If you find that you're still losing a couple of points, make sure to give me a little bit more, right? Again, think about them like little mini papers, if that helps. Elaborate, really show off that knowledge and understanding. You can always do too much, but you don't want to, not do enough and lose a couple of points there. There's also a couple of people that are still forgetting to respond to a classmate. Don't forget that you get a kind of an easy 2 points by responding to a classmate's response, and so make sure to be doing that. I also appreciated your self-assessment reflections. A lot of you really happy with your grade, which is where you should be. Again, the average scores on the exams are pretty high, and the average scores on the discussions are pretty high as well. So keep up the great work. We're past the halfway point. We have this week and next week to go, and then we're officially done. With that being said, we will move on to week number 3. So this week, you have all these materials that are open. We have chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. Motivation, emotion, human development, and personality. Some very, very core topics to psychology. We have discussion 5 and 6. Exam number 3, self-assessment number 2. And then you do have the optional extra credit, which I'll give you in a little bit. As I mentioned, and I'll just point it out this week, but we'll talk about this more next week, week number 4 is open for you. So if you want access to those chapters, those discussions, there's also an exam and then 2 assignments. So we do have a lot of stuff going on in our last week, next week. And remember, our class does end on Friday. So if you would like to get a little bit of a jump start, everything from next week is open. What I'll do next week when we meet is I'll go over the discussions, the self-care and mindfulness assignment, the closing assignment, and the exam. But there is one assignment that deals with that second book that you purchased. So remember when you bought the books for this class, you did buy the self-care and mindfulness book, which you probably haven't opened or accessed at this point, but you will need it for next week. So one thing you could very easily do this week is kind of get a jump start on that if you wanted to. But again, I'll focus on all of that more when I meet with you next week. So for this week, make sure that you read the 4 chapters in the book. As always, you want to do 3 things with every chapter. Read it in the ebook, read through the lecture, and watch the lecture video. So you'll do that for all 4 chapters. You do have 2 discussions this week, so let's take a look at those a little bit together. Discussion number 5, as always, you have my instructions, followed by my video. This one is all about emotions. So what you'll be doing is explaining an emotional reaction from the three main theories of emotion, the James Lang, Cannon Bard, and Schachter Singer. You can make up an event, or you can be creative, it can be something that really happened, it's totally up to you. But you'll be explaining the chain of events that led to an emotion from all three theories. You'll also be talking about some ways to spot a lie. These can be from your own personal experience, or it can be things from the lecture and from the book. And then I do have a little bonus video down here. It's getting a little old. I should remake these. But in this, what you are looking at is like a two truths and a lie. And just for fun, if you would like, you can watch it and see if you can guess which one is the lie. I'm a horrible, horrible liar. I smile and I laugh. I'm smiling just thinking about lying. But I did practice, so maybe we'll see. We'll see. Challenge given here. If you would like to watch it and go for it, it's totally just for fun. Discussion number 6. Underneath that, oops, it kicked me out here. Discussion 6, let's open that one and take a quick look. As always, again, you'll have my instructions, followed by my video. This one's all about human development. And so for this one, you're going to be listening to some songs about being a teenager and then looking at greeting cards related to getting older and aging. So you're going to get your country fix this week. It's 15 by Taylor Swift and Letter to Me by Brad Paisley. 2 songs about being a teenager. And then so here's the link where you can find those songs. And then you're going to look at some greeting cards, and you can go to like a Hallmark or a Target or a Walmart. You can go to a grocery store that has greeting cards. You could find these online if that's easier for you. Whatever works for you. You don't have to necessarily go out, but you're going to find some greeting cards targeting turning 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and aging in general. So after you've listened to the songs and you've looked at some cards, you're going to look at how do they kind of demonstrate or incorporate some of the milestones of being a teenager. I'm looking for you to really give me some specific examples from the lyrics. There are a lot of lyrics in there that very directly connect to some of the materials we're talking about. So make sure that you're connecting it to chapter 11 to receive full credit. You're going to look at the greeting cards and talk about the messages, tone, and focus, some of the attitudes and stereotypes about aging. And then if you had to personally be stuck at one age for the rest of your life, what age would you pick and why? And that one's kind of more for fun. There's nothing to back it up, but I think it is kind of an interesting thing to think about. And you're always welcome to upload pictures of your cards if you would like. A lot of greeting cards are quite funny and like humorous. So if you want to upload a video or a picture, you're more than welcome to do that. Completely optional, but definitely make sure you find some greeting cards, listen to those songs, and when you're ready, you'll hit reply. And don't forget to also reply to a classmate to get those 2 points of credit. So those are the 2 discussions for this week. Exam number 3, very similar to exams 1 and 2. You have 75 minutes and 1 attempt. It's on the ebook site. I've given you a study guide. If you click right here, it's on everything from this week. None of the exams are cumulative. So these are the terms to know from chapter 9, 10, 11, and 12. As always, if it's on the study guide, it will be on the exam. If it's not on here, then you don't need to worry about it. And completely up to you, but as I've mentioned a couple of times, if it were me, I would probably, write or type this up. I'd have it in front of me. That way I could easily reference it if I don't remember something or like I'm blanking on it. You don't want to be using up that valuable test time trying to search through like the textbook or the lectures or whatnot, or even worse, the lecture videos. So really good idea to be doing this. But again, a lot of you have been doing great on the exam, so keep it up and keep doing what you're doing if that is the case. If you wish you had done a little bit better, maybe consider doing the study guide and have it in front of you during the test. As always, make sure you set yourself up for success on the exam. Make sure you have 75 minutes to spare, that you have good internet, you have a quiet place to take it, all those little things that are gonna just maximize your chances of being successful. Good ideas to follow, and definitely utilize that study guide as it will be helpful for you. Same format where like it's mainly multiple choice, true, false, and some matching. And you will get that score instantly. Just remember that it doesn't come over to Canvas, so don't stress if you don't see your grade in Canvas. I wish it came over automatically, but sadly it does not. You also have your self-assessment number 2 for this week. So just like the one that you did last week, this is where 5 points. There's no time limit, and I'm not looking for anything in particular. It's just your chance to evaluate. Now that we're past the halfway point, you're going to think about your progress and approaches to learning. How are you doing? Is there anything you need to change? Kind of thinking about your own learning, as that helps to promote growth and learning as well. So you have as much time as you would like. It's worth 5 points. Please be honest. And that is kind of the format of the things you need to do for this week. So those 4 chapters, as always, do those 3 things of reading it in the book, reading the lecture, watching the lecture video, 2 discussions, an exam, and a self-assessment. I will post the recording of this in a little bit once it's uploaded and downloaded, and I'll give you the extra credit here in just a moment. I do have a couple of reminders for you, and if you have any questions for me, please feel free to put them in the chat. Reminder number 1, I typed this out earlier. If you have a chance to double check your subscription status on Twitch, I really appreciate those of you who have figured this out. There's 80 of you in this class and 26 people all together who are subscribed. So if you have a chance to figure this out, that definitely saves me some time. And if you're watching this later as a recording, it's also a great opportunity to still be able to do that extra credit. The other reminder I have for you is next week, instead of Wednesday, our live stream will be on Tuesday. So let me put that here in the chat. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Tuesday, July 15th at 8 p.m. So my daughter, her birthday is on the 16th, and she will be turning 13. That's a big one, right? 13, she will officially be a teenager. So we won't be meeting on Wednesday next week. I'm going to do it on Tuesday so I can be free and available to enjoy her birthday with her on Wednesday. So we'll meet on Tuesday the 15th at 8 o'clock. That'll be our last live stream that we have together. So that one I will go over the closing assignment, the self-care and mindfulness assignment, the exam, all the materials for next week. Remember again that our class does end next Friday at 11:59 p.m. So Friday the 18th. And I'm going to keep reminding you because I know that's different than our normal format, but really important. It's the 1 week that I can't give any extensions because final grades are due, and really important to get everything in before that deadline. The last thing I have for you is let me give you the extra credit question for this week and show you again where to answer that. So this is the week number three Twitch extra credit question. So what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? And give an example of each. What is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? And give an example of each. It can be something in your life, for example, that you're using. But when you're ready to do that, since we're in week 3, you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 3 right here. And then up at the top, click on start assignment. And that will bring up that box where you can type your response. And when you're ready, hit submit for your confetti and thumbs up. Always something random, right? You never know. So please take advantage of these opportunities. 5 points of extra credit is a lot. It'll make up for some missed points on a discussion or an exam. So I'm glad so many of you are doing that. Remember, if you're watching this later as a recording, that you can still do that as long as you are subscribed on Twitch. So that way I can follow your attendance and participation that way as well. So get going on everything from week number 3. If you know that next week's going to be tight for you, get started on week number 4. That could be doing some of the reading. It could be reading the self-care book, right? That's definitely something that's going to take a little bit of time. So not a bad idea to get a jump start on that. Or the closing assignment, totally up to you. But I did open week number 4 early for those of you who might have a little bit of like a time crunch since we only have until Friday next week. Okay, so I think that's everything that I wanted to share with you. We're at about like 16, 17 minutes or so. I'll hang out for a little bit. If any of you do have any questions for me or anything you're confused about, I would be more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, let me put in the chat here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. It's supposed to be really hot tomorrow, so definitely stay cool. Everything behind me is all tarped. We're having our house painted, so it's been kind of a mess. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope I see you next week for our last live stream. And again, I'm going to minimize my video, but I'll hang out for a few minutes here. If you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, everyone, and thank you again so much for those of you joining me or even watching this later. Thank you, thank you. You too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Again, stay cool tomorrow. It's going to be hot. And I'm still here for another minute or two if any of you have any questions at all.